is Marie. I'm one of your marker pop colorists. I'm going to show you how I color short and long hair. Many different techniques out there, but I'll show you how I do it. And I'm just going to color this squirrel CC design stamp called Squirrels. And we'll do the short and we'll do the long hair. On this particular one, you'll notice that the sample I'm coloring on the video, I left the top of the head kind of a lighter color. I think you'll agree with me, much cuter with the darker color. Okay, so let's get started. Today's color combo will be E000, E02, E11, E13, and E15. We're going to be using CC designs called Squirrels. I stamped my image on Express It using Memento Tuxedo Black. Now we're going to start with the little underbelly of this little squirrel, and this will be the short hair. It's similar to that we've had with the bear fur. It would be more of a stippling technique. And I started with my base coat of the E000. Now I'm mapping out my shadow areas with my E02. If I'm happy with that, then I will go ahead and apply then my darkest shadow for my short fur, which is E11. Any area where there will be shadow or your light source will not have direct access. And now I'm blending out with my midtone toward my highlight. It's a small area, so be very careful not to overdo. And then lightly applying my highlight. I'm going to go back over and darken my areas that are in shadow again. Get more definition in that area using my E11. And then I'm going to take that magic colorless blender and allow that kind of mottled or stippled effect. Again, the colorless blender actually moves ink. It doesn't blend. It will move ink to the areas surrounding the nib. Now, the areas on the head, I'm just going to be repeating what I did on the little belly portion of this. On the other sample I used a very darker color, and actually I prefer the darker color, but I thought I would do this for a little change. So this will just be repeated. The same process is on the belly. Now we're going to take a look at the longer hair. I'm applying my very base coat in this area. We're going to be not using a stippling technique, but just doing short little flicking methods. You could also do longer brush strokes. It's very similar to that of hair. So if you wanted to do the longer ones, extending the full length of the tail, you could do that. But I want to give more of a kind of a scruffy look, like you see animals get in the early fall when they're beginning to get that winter coat in. It's a little bit shorter, scruffy and fluffy. Now I'm putting in my very darkest shadow, again using that same short flicking method. And I'm blending out with my mid-tone and then my lighter tone. I'll repeat that same process with the upper portion. making sure to be consistent with my light source coming down kind of from the top area. And I'm putting in my dark shadow areas, darkening up a little bit on that area that's being kind of obscured. The light source can't quite get in there next to that basket. So that'll be a very dark area of light source, and the very tip of the tail to allow more of a curve, more of a dimension, a rounded effect. Now I'm going to go and apply a similar technique to the little foot area. Blending out again with my mid-tone, mapping that area. And then applying my very darkest shadow. And then flicking out again with my mid-tone. And then my very lightest highlight, my E000. Just repeating that process. And always frequently look at your image and see, is there anything you want to darken or add more definition. And I think the areas around the eyes need more, under the little chin, and around areas around the basket. Now that other little arm needs a little bit of attention. So we will just repeat that process. Flicking out now, mapping it with my mid-tone. The area under the chin area where the arm juts out will be in shadow. So I'm applying my darkest shadow now to that area, and then blending out with my mid-tone and then my highlight. And again, frequently looking and seeing if you're happy with that image. I will be repeating the same process with the small little squirrel and then coloring the basket. Now I am going to apply a little bit more colorless blender to areas to give it more of a stippled effect. And a little action here to the cheeks and the little mouth, the ears. Just giving a little more definition there to the face. I think he's just an adorable little squirrel. And so there you have it, and then I will color the rest up and you'll see the finished card.